Mhm. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the town hall number 40. We will, as usual, wait a few minutes for people to come in because we just went live and it will take a moment to share the link with everyone everywhere. But hopefully we'll see a few people joining shortly, and then we will start. Cover the typical updates and all the Q&A we currently have. So 1 second, let me send the link out. Okay. See, the link is out on the Discord, so that's good. But yeah, we'll take a minute or two. See who can join. I think some people might still be confused with the time zone change. I mean the winter time change. I have some other calls on Sundays earlier, which face the same problem. Like we have few people all around the world, and some people just missed already a second one in a row because they're like, oh, it was an hour earlier than I expected. But that's okay. That's a good thing about those town halls, that we record them, so everyone can watch them later. Obviously, that means the first 2-3 minutes are probably very boring. But yeah, it is what it is. Hey, Tomo, welcome. We'll be waiting a few more minutes. See if we can get a few more people. Hey, Troy. Hey, Craig. Good to see you. Let's give it maybe 1 more minute, and then we will kick it off. Today is just me and Nick because Fahad is traveling. So I think he's at the airport right now, which is not exactly the most convenient place to connect for Town Hall. Hey, Fox Hill Stables. No worries on dropping in and out. If you miss any parts, you can always catch up on it on YouTube later. We'll have a few updates, few points to address also in the context of the discussion that happened in the Discord the last few days, and of course, the questions that we got, which I think there are some interesting questions there. Hey, Frank. Nice to see you. We have 8 people. Honestly, I think we can start. As I said, everyone else can always check the beginning on YouTube, and we don't want to keep those who could join already. So let's kick it off with the town hall number 40, November 12th, our bi-weekly town hall where we share the updates of different aspects, which is, I changed the top one. Before it was the visuals. We made it audio visual development because there is a small update on the audio side as well. Then and I should have changed the second one to more specifically development, I guess code development, and then marketing and kind of community engagement, and then as always AMA. So not to delay, when we talk about the AV update, there are two things here that we wanted to give you a quick update. First of all, as you know, we are working on getting all the animations to be procedurally generated, because we realize that with all our jockeys being different sizes and then also skins, etc., the standard animations that are created are just not working very well, or not as well as we wanted them to be. The initial approach didn't work very well, but we got a new version of this automatically generated animations for Cornelius and Faye, and it looks really good. There are some minor bugs to be fixed, but it looks really good, and we'll be obviously testing it on the other jockeys and then checking it with other riding animations, because we are focusing on gallop. That's the most important one. But it is a good progress. I mean, it's not the most important thing, but it's one of those small things that will help longer way to happen. And the second thing is, obviously, we realize that if we only have if the game doesn't have sound, that would not be super exciting. So we want to have definitely at the beginning a good set of the basic sounds, like horses getting ready, the sound of the trumpets at the beginning, the crowd noise, all this type of stuff, or even when you press buttons, we do want to have some kind of sound. So we got a full set of sound effects, which sounds pretty good, no pun intended. And of course, we'll be adding more. We are also discussing, it's not the priority right now, but we are also discussing how we can, maybe use the advancements in stuff like AI to get, commentators going as soon as possible, right? So we would have a live commenting. And these days, and I'm going well ahead because we are not yet there, but these days there is AI that can actually dub it in multiple languages quite easily. So that could be an interesting direction that I think we want to explore. But obviously English will be the first one to start with. And I'll pass it to Nick to talk a bit about development of app and blockchain side.
Yeah, I know this is dangerous, but could you refresh the slides? I changed it a tiny bit.
Sorry?
I thought that, could you refresh the slides? I changed it a tiny bit.
Oh,
it doesn't seem.
Sorry, of course.
No worries. Oh, it doesn't show. Okay, that's okay. I can go with that. Yeah, so basically on the, I'm going to start with blockchain, even though it's the second one. On the blockchain part, we implemented a way for the Oracle to be secure, which means that the Oracle is a server that will post transactions. So for those of you who know, that's an inherent security flaw, even though we make it secure. So what we do is we give it a number of tokens that it has to spend to do transactions on the behalf of eCoin. What that means is that those tokens are secured with a hardware wallet on creation. What that means is that if the server were to be compromised, which it won't, but we have to design things as if, like on the internet, you always have to assume somebody could hack you. So if the server was hacked, this means that people can only post a certain number of transactions, fake transactions, before they run out of tokens. And we're simply not going to give them any more tokens, so they cannot keep going while we take control back of the Oracle. And also we have protocols in place to simply roll back whatever malicious thing they do. Whatever they wanted to do, they can still not steal your stuff. So that's not a problem. But we still want that to be as secure as possible. So we built in a finite amount of authorization tokens that the Oracle can actually use if compromised. Otherwise, what we do is we simply give it tokens every so often on our end, so that it doesn't run out of token and it can do what it's supposed to do. So basically, it's just a fallback security measure, but it has to be put in. That's the kind of thing that takes time and is actually hard to design, hard to do, and you guys don't care because you never see it. But it has to be done, right? So there's a lot of those things that sadly take a lot of time and are not sexy at all, but are important. So yeah, then on the authorization, again, we updated the login transaction to use the new library we use to build transactions. Also unsexy and caused a bit of trouble. But we had to do it because the new transaction building is much better for the smart contract transactions and all the other interactions that are going to be done throughout the game. So we had to update to this new library, and it caused a bit of a hassle. Then we've implemented and tested the timeout on the smart contract, which means that if for any reason the server is down, nothing gets the results do not get announced for a race, then after a while you can still take back your horse. So that's just a security again. If the server were to go down, or if there was a blackout or any kind of trouble, your horses are not stuck in the smart contract forever. After a little while, they just get released back to you. So again, probably not gonna happen, but we have to build it in, because if we don't, then your horses could get stuck in the smart contract forever, and that would be really bad. So again, not very sexy, very important, has to be done. And then a little thing for everybody, race list. We put in query. When you query the race list, for now, you were getting every race ever of all of history and all the future. So we put in query filters so that we can say, like, give me the next 2 weeks of races, give me the next 24-hour races, give me just the races that are for class 3 for my horse, give me just the races that fit my horse, give me. So there's a bunch of ways to ask the server for a specific subset of races. Not hard to do, had to be done. So a little work on the blockchain. On the blockchain part, by the way, we have a single dev right now, because there's not a lot of things to do to finish the racing part. And if we had 2 devs, they would just step on each other's toes. So even though that might be a tiny bit quicker, it would be very inefficient. So we have to be quick, but we have to be efficient at the same time, right? So we cannot just throw devs at a problem and make it go away. That's usually not how this works. So on the app side, the new authorization transaction, like I said, that it caused a bit of trouble. I'm still fixing it on the front end. So basically, when you actually click on your wallet and get the little transaction that says, please log into eQuine, that's been broken basically by the new library, and I just have to make it work again. It's not going to be a lot of work. I know what to do now, but it took a bit of time. It didn't behave like it did before. So I have to fix that. Then that will allow us to move forward with, since we can when we can log in again, we can go back to the tracks and courses and races and make sure the workflow works. My backend dev, my blockchain dev, has been through the whole racing workflow in a tiny demo UI to make sure that he could put the horse in the smart contract, get it back and everything. So he knows that his workflow works, but we have to plug that into the website so that you guys can do it with pretty buttons and everything just working, seeing your wallet, seeing your horse, and seeing your horse get put in the race contract. Well, get put in the race UI, really. And everything. So that's one of the things we had to do. And I also changed the data. Well, data types is like a contract, saying when I give you the track information, I'm going to give you the name of the track, the country, the city, the courses that you can race on, and everything. So it's like the information you say you're going to provide when somebody asks you for track information throughout the code. I'm simplifying this, but basically you have to provide what information you're going to provide for every type of thing: races, horses, jockeys, skins, tracks, throughout all of the code. But at this time, I think we have 15 different code projects for Equine, done by different devs, done for different things that work together, all different cogs that just work together to make Equine work. And so we had to make sure that all of these projects can talk to each other and use the exact same data format. It might seem trivial. It's kind of obvious when you think about it, but doing that properly is its own little thing. And so we had to make sure that the racing engine and the front end and the back end and the blockchain, different parts and the indexer, and everybody can talk together. And when they say, here's the track information, everybody knows exactly what that means and has access to all the contents in the same way. And so we did that. That's called refactoring. So it's basically a meaning you change code, but you do not change the functionality. Very important, again, to prevent a lot of mistakes going from code base to code base, repo to repo, making all those parts talk together in exactly the same language. So so basically that's what we've been doing. So the final blockchain little things that are done have to be put into the interface for the race. And that's caused more trouble than expected. So it's taking more time. But it's a bit weird because we built how can I make a good analogy for that? We made a plan of exactly which input would go into which output, and one of the ends just did it different, so it doesn't plug in. So I was mad, but I mean, you cannot do it. You have to just fix it. So it was delivered slightly different from what I expected and took a bit more time. And now we're going to fix that and plug that in. But, you know, that's the kind of thing that happened that derail your schedule. Right. Next slide. Yeah. So I got asked a bit. I just want to remind you guys of the high level reasons. Like I'm trying to go into detail like I did before on the slide before with telling you guys everything that I'm doing. I don't know if you guys get everything, but you know, I don't want to gloss over it and say, you know, stuff happened. Then you guys think like what happened. So I gave you a lot of details. Maybe you guys didn't understand everything, but I'm trying to just explain to you what I've been doing, which is the best I can do, right? I'm just being transparent about the last 2 weeks. Now, on the higher level, a couple of reasons why things are taking much longer than anticipated was first of all, R&D. R&D will be the main reason for everything. We built a lot of things from the ground up. First of all, because Cardano didn't have a way to do a lot of the things when we started. So we had to make them up. R&D is always long. Basically, you're creating something from nothing. You're not just using a screwdriver. You have to invent the screwdriver because there's just nothing to do. Like there's no tools. So that took a lot of time. So the blockchain part was we decided it's a decision from us that we decided to put a lot, like most of our game information directly on chain. Even stuff like the daily races and everything that we wanted people to be able to see directly on their NFTs as much as possible. So that was a challenge. Cardano had no way to do it when we started. So we built up the CIP and requires a lot of.
We are losing you a bit.
Oh. Is that better now?
Yes, it's better. No, we didn't lose too much. We just lose the last few sentences. Okay,
I was just saying basically that building the CIP was hard because we had to design it properly, but then making the tools to use it also took a bunch of time, like making an indexer and an oracle and posting updates of metadata on chain, reading the chain as it happens and knowing like the updates of the assets. So that was a huge thing, basically, that we're trying to build. And when it works, we were planning on open sourcing the code. So that's something we built for the ecosystem also. that took a lot of time, but it was necessary for equine, so might as well do it in a way that people can also use it. Other decision that we did that took a lot of time in the end is Babylon JS, our tool for 3D. We've decided to build a lot of things from the ground up, and that takes a lot of time. So that's one of the things we did that is still taking a lot of time now. And another thing is humans. A lot of things happened. In one of our teams, our devs got changed 5 times. So basically we changed the whole team like 3, 4, and then 5 times. So we changed the team, like the dev went away, a new dev came in. And so that's time lost every time. Another of the team was hard to work with on the language side. And another of the team had a lot of human issue where they had to go away, they got sick. So, you know, a lot of stuff that happened. That just it means time flies, and you're not all of that time. We're not robots, right? So a lot of that time just went away. So that's something that's completely uncontrollable. If you, whether you have a big team or a small team or whatever you do, some of those things are going to happen, and you just have to deal with them, which we do. But yeah, so that makes it hard also. So those are the Go
back. No, I just want to say, and we said it before many times. Obviously, we want it to be out. We want the game to be out as soon as possible, right? Like it was zero benefit for us, or zero reason for us to delay it for the sake of delaying, and it's just elements that are making it happen, right? And certain challenges that we face, kind of part of it through pioneering stuff on Cardano in a way. Maybe that's a bit too strong of a word. And to be fair, if we were launching the project today, there's probably some tools that could cut a lot of the things that we did much more, because they were developed in parallel, right? But at the time when we started, they weren't there, and you cannot suddenly also switch all the way from one to another, because that's also a lot of cost associated with that. So obviously, and we'll talk, it kind of overlaps a bit with the questions that were both on Discord, and I think we have one of those on AMEA as well, but we wanted to kind of share a bigger picture of the development side, right, where the challenges are coming from. And before we go to AMEA, I just wanted to quickly touch on marketing. Very quick one, we will have the invitational final next weekend. It should say, should be 22nd. I'll have to check. Why is it saying 22nd? It should be on Sunday, right? So let me double check that. I'm not sure what happened there. But either way, right, 19th. Yes, it should be next week, right? In a week, exactly a week, same time. So it should be 19th. Sorry about that. We'll change it quickly now, and now we can pretend it was correct. This one, thanks for those who already submitted. I do think we still have maybe 1 or 2 spots open before we get the full 32 submissions. So if you have a horse that is meeting the criteria, which is total stats 151 and over, check the Discords for details. We take submissions through Twitter, and then you can participate. It's of course free. It's of course using the fan-made game Lovelace Downs. It's not yet the equine engine or equine game, but we run it every month for fun. And in this case, we'll have. I'm realizing I changed the wrong numbers. This is correct. The submissions will close on the 16th no matter what, and the final is on the 19th. I think it was 22nd October last month. That's why it got stuck this way. And we'll do the same thing we did last time, which is different number of laps per different different stage. So quarterfinal 1 lap, semifinal 2, and final 3 laps. So, it will be interesting to see, because maybe some horses do well with 1 lap and not so great with 3 laps. And we'll have 1 class, so that means that the prize fund is split between the 3 winners. So the winner will get 500 ADA. The other interesting development was the Cardano Summit in Dubai, right? It was last weekend or last week, last week. And luckily, Fahad was able to attend, not super long. I think he had few hours on one of the days to attend. And based on unfortunately he's not here, so cannot share details, but he met with quite a few people from the Cardano, and I'm talking more like from the main organization, not with Charles, but with quite a few other people from the foundation, and also a few people from other bigger projects. A few interesting discussions. Too early to share anything, but we definitely had some exciting initial discussions that we will continue and see where they lead. We'll share more as soon as we can. We have few other discussions happening as well right now. I hope like in 2 weeks when we talk, we'll be able to share a little bit more about that. And yeah, so that's the town hall. We'll go to the MEA. As always, we'll have the questions from the Discord that were posted. We'll address those. If you have any questions live, the chat is here. You can type in chat. You can still put it in the Discord. I'll be having a look at that in case anyone posts. But let me start with the first one. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. So the first question is, we haven't had 4-lap race yet. Can we try that next time? So that's, again, directly related with Invitational. The reason we haven't had 4-lap race is because the fan-made game made by Eustacia doesn't have a 4-lap option, as far as I recall. So that would require adding it. I'm not sure how much excitement that would add, because that would make it very long, but we can chat with Eustacia and check on that. The second one, this one, possible time frame for game launch. I think it's time for people to be held accountable. I'm not sure that second comment what that really means. We didn't take the money and go and live in Hawaii or other tropical island. We invested it in the game. We are building it. We are getting closer. In terms of the time frame, I don't know, Nick, if there's anything you want to share beyond what was already shared in the recent town halls.
For game launch, I don't want to talk about game launch. I could talk about the beta for racing is really coming soon. We're going to be testing it without the graphics first, because I think the whole workflow will be ready before the 3D scene is finalized. And the moment that we got the 3D scene also great for racing, then we're going to have beta testers.
Yeah, and it will be multi-stage, right? We'll start with the small internal one, then a bit bigger with community members, and then we'll try to make it maybe not public, because we probably we'll have to discuss that. I would rather limit it to people who already have our NFTs, even if it's beta and it's on a test net and anyone could. Technically, we want to give that advantage to people who obviously are invested and excited to play the game. And yeah, that's what it is. And look, just to maybe one more comment on the accountability. I think we are trying to be as direct and open with everyone here. That's why we have those town halls every 2 weeks. Even if sometimes the updates are not the most exciting or there isn't that many, it doesn't mean the work is not progressing. So we want to share as much accountability as we can. for sure. And yeah, and get that game in your hands, even if it's a beta first, as soon as possible. But also we need to make sure it is in the shareable form. We're getting a comment here that was the other way around. Okay. Faban, whoa, thanks for that. Sorry, I didn't check it. I got this from the slide mate, so I didn't have a time to look. You're right. In the announcement, we are talking about quarterfinal being 3 laps, semifinal being 2 laps, and final being 1 lap. So we will hold that version that is on Discord. Sorry for the confusion on this one. And then, will the breeding game be able to produce new horse colors that we can actually see, or will the new colors just be reflected in the text captions, as in the case of with Rounds at the moment? Nick?
There's definitely genes that could emerge that would result in colors that would be possible to see.
Cool. Quick and to the point. And this one, that question definitely, I found it very interesting. I actually spent a little bit of time with myself trying to think what is the answer from my side. So I will answer, I'll let Nick answer. And, I think it's a good one, right? It's a question about the insights into team overall mindset. Are we enthusiastic about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, experiencing frustration due to the project not coming together as quickly anticipated, overwhelmed, calm, excited? And there's a lot of emotions, and those emotions change depending on the day when you ask. But I would say that one thing that is definitely there is that we are determined, right? Like at this point, we are at, I don't know if point of no return is the right phrase here, but we are at the point where we want this game to be out, right? We can see it being out. Yes, there is still work to be done, but I think we are doing all we can to get it out and get it out as fast as possible. The hope is there, right? But that hope is always balanced with a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, the whole crypto world situation is heavily impacting. I think the recent weeks, well, I'm not yet hyper bullish. I think we still have a lot of shaky times ahead of us in the weeks and months to come. But obviously, like the more of a positive momentum that we are seeing is helpful, right? Like, I mean, in many ways, probably being able to launch the full game when the market gets more into a bull territory would be good for everyone, right? Not just for us, but for you as well, because there'll be more people who are interested, more people who are playing, which makes the game more fun and more sustainable, right? Because obviously we also look at what happens after we launch. It will still require investment, right? We do have to pay salaries. We do have to have infrastructure. We have to develop new stuff. We are not gonna stop the moment the game is out. We will just continue doing other stuff that is right now parked for version 2, or if you ask Fahad for his ideas, probably version 7 already. But yeah. So as I said, determined. A little bit frustrated, not gonna lie. Would want it to be out. It's been a long time coming. But yeah, overall, I think there is definitely the light at the end of the tunnel, which we can see. And I don't know, Nick, what's your view on this one?
Yeah, a bit like Marek, I would say yes. I'm experiencing frustration, overwhelmed, calm, and excited. It's been, I think Fahad said that exactly, so I'm going to quote him here, but we've been taking this marathon as a sprint a few times also, and wanted things to go very quickly and worked like 80 hours a week, and then a lot of stuff happens that makes it, there's drawbacks, there's stuff that happens that hurdles, challenges, difficulties, our dev teams changes, a lot of things happen that you have to keep calm and just keep going, keep building, keep grinding, and make it true. And sometimes you're very tired. Building this kind of project is not, it's not straightforward. You're not building something that you built 100 times before. A lot of things were R&D related, which makes it in general more frustrating, more difficult. So frustration, yes, of course. Challenges, yes. Sadness, and, but now, of course, enthusiastic the whole way through for the whole 2 years, and still now, and we're gonna make this happen. And we never doubted that we could get this out the door. It's just difficult, but it's doable. And a lot of little hurdles. You think you're frustrated, but we want this to work and to get done a lot more than anybody else. Like, it's for sure. Like, there's nobody that wants this to work more than us. We've put a lot of our work, of our time, of our life on this, and we'd really like. There's nobody that's more motivated to get this project working. So,
yeah.
So yeah,
and
yeah.
I would only add that we appreciate all of you guys and girls as well, of course, supporting us, being, pushing us as well. But you typically the way the push comes is more in a supportive way. We understand there is frustration, as Nick said. We feel it ourselves, so it's justified. But I think the community we have, the people who've been showing up, the people who've been engaging with us are amazing, and we really want nothing else than just get this into your hands, let you start playing, and then building it into something big, right? Because obviously we know that the reality is that once we get it to a point where the game is ready, we need to bring it back to everyone on their mind, right? So we've been a bit maybe put on the back, right? Maybe people who got into Cardano or Cardano NFTs in the last 6 to 12 months might not know us, right? Might not know the great stuff that is happening, the great community that we already have, and we are going to change it. We are definitely talking with certain other entities in the space to make sure that that we get back in that area when the time is right. But as I've said many times before, is the last thing I want is to overhype before we can have something tangible that people can be hyped about, because then people will come, see the game is still not there, and just leave, right, with even more upset. So that doesn't serve anyone well. So yeah, that's that's a long answer to this good question. I really like it. So Raibota, thanks for asking it. It's a tough one, but it's a good one to self-reflect. So those are all the questions we noted. I'm not seeing anything else in Discord. Sorry.
No, but well, very quickly, I would say, don't worry when you guys get frustrated and post a message. Don't worry. We've had ups and downs on our end. Some of us have gotten frustrated at times. You can get frustrated and say it, and I think the community also not to just like pummel these guys to the ground. It's fine that some people want to express frustration. Okay, so just be like you are, be supportive and understanding of people. People can get frustrated. It's fine. Like, it's understandable. That happens. And Tomo, I don't use a mouse. That's for the devs. Don't use mouse. It's just the keyboard.
Like Nick has the keyboard with 0 and 1 only, and that's enough to code.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as Nick said, like, look, be open with us and talk to us and share with us. Obviously, if you start saying things that are just not like, I mean, we had some people popping up just talking stupid stuff, saying that it's a rag, right? It's as far from the rag as it can be. So we will probably not tolerate this type of discourse, but a real discussion. We've been always there, right? From day one, from the moment we announced that we are doing open 24-hour sale, and obviously we met with some pushback. We've been there to discuss it. We've been there to share why we do it this way, why we think it's the right way. We still think it was the right way. And yeah, that continues through development as well. As you can see, we try to be very open.
I think a rug would have been in 2021, right? Why rug 2 years later?
Yeah, that's not how it works. Definitely
No.
not. Or we would be terrible scammers if that's the case, right? I'm joking now. Obviously, that's as far as we are all from there. We are all part of this community. We want Cardano to do well. We are, that doesn't mean we are not critical to Cardano. Sometimes there are certain challenges with the whole blockchain or with certain entities related to our blockchain that are doing things that are maybe not best in our view, but that's okay. That's part of the discussion, right? That's part of being decentralized as well. At least that's what we are being told, right? Cardano is fully decentralized, so obviously everyone has the voice, some smaller than others. But anyway, I'm rambling. If there's no more questions, I think we can close it here. Thank you again. We will meet in a week for the invitationals for those who can join. And then, as always, there'll be another town hall in 2 weeks. It's a bit early to announce. We'll look into, in December, we might skip the town hall around Christmas because of because of Christmas and because of the travels and stuff. So we'll of course let you know depending on the developments. Thank you again, everyone, and see you soon.